The Commanders are making a critical mistake. Drafting Jayden Daniels over Drake Maye will set back the Commanders franchise for years. What's going on, YouTube? It's Mitch here. Here to discuss why I believe the Commanders are about to make an absolute horrible decision in this year's NFL Draft. A decision to draft Jayden Daniels out of LSU over Drake Maye out of North Carolina. The Commanders have the number 2 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. We all know that Caleb Williams is going to the Chicago Bears first overall. But what we do not know is who will be picked second. We do have some information. Colin Cowherd, Adam Schefter, people that are well connected to the NFL and to the Commanders have suggested that Jayden Daniels will be the pick at number 2. Daniels is explosive. He is electrifying at times. He did win the Heisman Trophy. But the translation to the NFL, it's not the same when you compare it to Drake Maye. Drake Maye is my favorite quarterback in this draft class, and I believe that at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, he will be the best quarterback in this draft, and that includes Caleb Williams. So I'm out on a limb. I have him as my top quarterback, above Caleb Williams. Now, I like Caleb a lot too, but I see a clear gap between the top 2 quarterbacks in this draft and the third quarterback in this draft, who I believe is Jayden Daniels. And I actually think Daniels is closer to number 4 than he is to number 2. Why? Well, if you want to know why, Gronk spiked the like button. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, because I love to hear your opinion, and I'm sure Commanders fans will be upset with me because a lot of them have been talked into Jayden Daniels. And the reason they've been talked into Jayden Daniels is because mechanically, he is sound. He throws a good football consistently. He's mostly accurate. He's a really good runner. Coming into the NFL, there aren't as many quarterbacks that you can really name that can run like Jayden Daniels. He's in that Justin Fields, RG3, potentially Lamar Jackson type of mold where he can really take off and run with sprinter speed. Wide receiver speed at the quarterback position, it's rare. But in terms of other aspects of his game that should translate to the NFL and give someone success, it's not even comparable, in my opinion, to Drake Maye. When you talk about what a quarterback needs to succeed in the modern NFL, you have to look at last year's draft and ask yourself, why was CJ Stroud so successful and why did Bryce Young fail? And I'm not trying to say that Jayden Daniels is better or worse than Bryce Young as a prospect. I would actually say Daniels has more athletic tools. He's obviously taller. I think their arms are about the same. And certainly Daniels is more athletic in terms of speed and quickness. But when you're talking about why was everyone infatuated with Bryce Young to go first overall, it was a lot of like accuracy, the ability to kind of see the field and have vision, and the ability to have the eyes in the back of your head, and some of these weird intangibles like off the field things that you were kind of hearing about him and that were really hurting CJ Stroud, like the test that nobody cares about anymore. But CJ Stroud had rare arm power, rare arm strength, accuracy, ability to deliver accurately off platform from a multitude of different positions. He was able to sit in the pocket and take hits, unlike Bryce Young. He was able to actually escape when given the opportunity and make plays outside the pocket in an area where people overrated Bryce Young's game. And Young actually featured some of those arm angles and things that I think CJ maybe didn't as much on film, that I don't think Jayden Daniels does either. And that's kind of the conversation of, okay, what matters? And to me, when you talk about prospects in the NFL, you have to look at translatable skills, not how productive they were in college, how good they were in college, how many games they won, how many yards they threw for, how many touchdowns they had. I really do not care about that. I never even look at it. I don't care. I'm looking for traits. And when you talk about Drake Maye in comparison to Jayden Daniels, you're talking about Drake Maye being a complete prospect. He's big. He is athletic. You watch him play. He was a great basketball player. His whole family is athletic, from his parents to his brothers who played basketball at UNC. He could have played basketball at UNC, right? He has a powerful, strong arm that would rank in the top 10 in the NFL right now. He can throw from a multitude of angles inside or outside the pocket. He can launch the ball off balance from inside or outside the pocket, to the right or to the left. He can fit in any system, whether it be pocket-oriented, on the move, play action-based, whatever it may be. Drake Maye has all the physical tools, size, speed, arm strength, all that stuff. You watch him. He was second in terms of scrambles for first downs in college football last year. So one of the underrated aspects of Drake Maye is kind of his athleticism, one of the areas where a lot of people talk about Jayden Daniels. But his ability to have speed and power and strength and balance, kind of like a Josh Allen-esque player, is, I think, a really underrated trait to Drake Maye. Jayden Daniels, where he scares me, is sure he can run and he's fast and mechanically he's sound, and if he has a clean pocket, he'll make the throw and it'll be accurate and on time. But there's a lot of different areas where he scares me, right? Like with Drake Maye, I could see him going anywhere and potentially succeeding. It might take a little bit of time to clean up some of his pocket stuff, his feet, and his mechanics, but I don't think that is going to be a real issue in the NFL. I think those areas are already overblown as they are. But when you have a guy that's that mentally sharp, focused, works as hard as he does, loves the game as much as he does, is as competitive as he does, working with Phillip Rivers already, I feel like he'll figure it out, just as Josh Allen did with his traits mentally that he possessed, right? Fearlessness, just the ability to go out there and change his game and adapt to the NFL. And Allen did that. I think Maye can do that as well. Where Jayden Daniels scares me is, first of all, he's an older prospect where he's more of a complete player right now in terms of like, this is what he's going to be at the NFL level. Sure, his mechanics are sound right now, but like, how much better can he get as a player? Like, his arm isn't going to get any stronger. At least it's not going to get that much stronger. It's going to be marginal. And his arm isn't that strong. It's probably going to be average to below NFL average for a starter. We're talking about a guy that's accurate, but he's certainly no Tom Brady or Drew Brees or Peyton Manning. He wouldn't be a top 10 most accurate quarterback in the NFL. He has good touch on deep passes, but a lot of deep passes and consistency is about the receivers. And you think about the supporting cast that he had in Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas. These are elite NFL prospects at the wide receiver position that he was playing with. He had a very good offensive line in front of him. Drake Maye had none of that. Like, his best receiver is an overrated kind of day two type of prospect. His offensive line was a disaster. He played in multiple systems, and he still overcame and still played well and still produced and still put the team on his back in multiple occasions. Daniels felt like more of a quarterback that was a driving force, but not the only force. And Drake Maye was the only force to North Carolina. And those are evident in numbers like supporting cast numbers and win above's replacement at different positions. And Drake Maye was the only quarterback among the top 5 or 6 to be in the negative in that category, right? Jayden Daniels is somebody that I think greatly benefited from the situation. You saw him play at ASU. He had Brandon Ayuk. You saw him go through his college career, eventually as an older prospect, kind of get better, improve, and that's nice to see. But he is an older prospect, mentally more sharp than others at that quarterback position, playing with great talents, he knows where to go with the ball. He knows what to do, and clearly has some physical traits that are admirable, like his speed. So he's able to take advantage of certain aspects at this older age as a prospect. Drake Maye's 21. Drake Maye's, a baby, and he's going to grow a ton. Jayden Daniels is more of a finished product in terms of mechanics. How much are you going to get him better at that level? And then you talk about, and some people may see that as a positive. Personally, I don't really, and here's why. Jayden Daniels, for an athletic guy, is not a creative player. He's not a creative thrower, and he's not a creative scrambler. And what I mean by scrambler is not running. I mean by extending plays and throwing the ball. So Daniels does not throw from multiple angles. He's not like Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or even Justin Herbert when it comes to outside the pocket, manipulating pressure and throwing the ball from, sidearm positions, off the back foot, all that stuff accurately. He is not very good at that, and Daniels rarely does that. He took off with the ball to run, a lot like a Justin Fields comparable player, where when he gets outside the pocket, when he is pressured, he looks to run. He buries his head, he looks to run. Drake Maye, Caleb Williams, they keep their head up, they focus downfield, and they throw the ball. That's one of the areas where I thought Drake Maye was most impressive, was his ability to be powerful, break sacks, get away from sacks, the ability to be quick and elusive with his feet, and then be able to deliver a ball off a multitude of angles and arm angles and platforms to be able to deliver with power, strength down the field, no matter what the pass was called for. He put it in a ridiculous spot. And Drake Maye is able to make those high-level passes, high-level throws that give you a chance to succeed in the NFL as a team in the playoffs against the best players. He can go throw for throw with a Mahomes or an Allen or a Stroud in 2 to 3 years, in my opinion. He has that type of talent. Jayden Daniels, you're going to have to rely on his smarts, you're going to have to rely on his speed. I don't see the passing capabilities to be an elite player at the NFL level. I don't see it in terms of throw power. I don't see it in terms of arm angles. I don't see it in terms of really even accuracy, which is the area that he gets a check mark for being more consistent mechanically than Drake Maye. I don't think that's a big deal, personally, because I don't think Drake Maye's mechanics are that much of a glaring red flag. I think there's things that he can tweak and get better at, but I don't think it's drastic, right? Or it's crippling. So when you talk about Daniels, he's a player that is good from the pocket, throwing the ball when he knows where to go with the ball. He struggles to be creative and manipulate the pocket to extend plays and throw the ball on the move from multiple angles and platforms. That scares me. He runs too much, and then you have to deal with the frame. It took me this long to get to the frame. But when you're talking about a guy that doesn't look to be creative behind the line of scrimmage and throw, and maybe he'll evolve and get better in that area, but that's something that's kind of like inherent with a player. It's hard to learn that. That is a trait, in my opinion. Like Mahomes came into the NFL with a creativity that was not really seen before outside of maybe Brett Favre, right? That's what makes him really, really special and dangerous. Jayden Daniels, it's hard to learn that. Drake Maye has that ability. Drake Maye knows how to play like that. He is a playmaker. He's a baller. He's a backyard player. Daniels is not, in a weird way, for a player that is as fast and as athletic as you would think he is. You would think he was creative, but he's really just a runner or a thrower. And that scares me. And then you deal with the frame where if he's going to be a runner and he's going to take on contact and he's going to be fearless, he's going to get himself hurt. And you wonder how many games a year he's going to miss. How big is he going to be playing at? How often does this type of outlier actually succeed in the NFL? If he's taking hits in the pocket, pockets collapsing, I don't think he's going to be able to make the powerful throws necessary from the pocket when the pocket is collapsing like a Drake Maye because of his size, because of his arm strength, and because of his ability to throw with power and accuracy off platform. So you talk about what's needed in the NFL. You talk about first the ability to throw with people around you. That's Drake Maye. You talk about the ability to throw with precision and accuracy and power in the middle of the field. That's Drake Maye. He was the best middle of the field college quarterback this past season, first in multiple categories. Jayden Daniels threw outside the numbers, down the field. That's Russell Wilson-esque. That's Kyler Murray-esque. That's a lot of these smaller quarterbacks, right? And then you talk about, well, how sustainable is that? Will he miss big throws down the middle of the field or not see them? So that's a problem. Him running into contact, him not being able to make plays outside the pocket, or that is all troubling to me. I think these are all areas where you have to draft Drake Maye over Jayden Daniels. If you draft Jayden Daniels over Drake Maye, the only reason you are doing so is because you truly believe that all the areas where people are criticizing Drake Maye, and you've went over it and you've studied it, and you truly do not believe that Drake Maye can become a consistent thrower of the football in the NFL. And you truly believe that he will not put forth the effort to improve. And you truly believe that Jayden Daniels is going to be a good passer from the pocket and a great runner, and that's all you need to be successful. But I just truly do not see the special areas of the game that you need to be great in at the NFL level for him to be great ever. I think he could be average. I think he could maybe be good. Great is a different question. You have to rather be a precise, precision power thrower from the pocket that can work the pocket very well, or you have to have a level of creativity, off-platform ability that these players possess. You can do it one or two ways. You can do it like Stafford, you can do it like Brady, you can do it like Brees or Manning, or you can do it like Mahomes, Lamar, or Allen. And the comparison to Lamar is incorrect. Lamar can throw from more angles. Lamar is a bigger player in the lower body. He has better balance. He has better quickness. In my opinion, he has more inherent ability and playmaking tools to extend plays. He has a stronger arm by far. I always felt like Lamar was a really good passer, and I felt like people were super underrating his ability coming out of college. That's what I saw. I rated Lamar number 1 in his draft class until I saw Josh Allen really, and it was kind of like 1A, 1B for me in that draft class. And I do not see the same comparable traits to Jayden Daniels. A lot of people are making that comparison. I do not see it. Other than speed, I do not see the creativity. I don't see the arm angles. I don't see the off-platform ability. I don't see the creativity. I don't see a lot of the things that make Lamar special. I don't see that in Jayden Daniels. So could I be wrong? Yes, but I'm just expressing my opinion on why I believe the Commanders will ultimately make a mistake. And as a Patriots fan, I hope they make this mistake because I hope that Drake Maye falls to the Patriots, and I hope the Patriots are able to select him. As it goes to J.J. McCarthy, because there's been rumors about J.J. McCarthy, I like some of the aspects of McCarthy's game, but I do not think he's comparable in terms of ceiling to Drake Maye. I think there's a lot of things that McCarthy was able to perform, with a great offensive line, with a good running game, a great defense in a perfect situation, and not have to carry the team in a way that Drake Maye did in college. I prefer seeing prospects have to throw the ball a lot, have to carry their team, have to do certain things, because just like Josh Allen had to do in college, it makes me understand that they're capable of doing those things in the NFL, and it shows off their physical traits. If I have a guy that's just a product of the team or the system or the situation, it's harder for me to kind of understand what they're going to be, which is maybe where I made my mistake on somebody like Mac Jones. I did not make that mistake on Tua, but I made that mistake on Mac Jones. So I'm just trying to give you guys my reasoning for why I believe the Patriots would be better suited for Drake Maye and why the Commanders would make a huge critical mistake taking Jayden Daniels. He's more of an outlier. He has less high-end ability. And at the end of the day, you're trying to swing for the fences and trying to land a franchise guy that can compete with the best of the best. I think that's Drake Maye. I don't think that's Jayden Daniels. Gronk, spike the like button. Thank you guys for watching. It's Mitch. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.